Hi, this is Alex from devstories.eu, LangChain v1.0 Orchestration Framework, Episode 3 of 20. Different model providers have wildly different APIs, which means trying out a new model usually forces you to rewrite half your application. You end up stuck with one vendor just because the technical cost of switching is too high. Standardizing the mess is exactly what this episode is all about. Before getting into the mechanics of how LangChain fixes this, it helps to clear up a common mix-up. If you worked with early language models, you are probably familiar with legacy LLM classes that accept a single raw text string as input. Modern chat models are different. They strictly require a structured sequence of messages, where each message has a specific role attached, such as system, human, or AI. Everything we discuss now applies to these modern chat models, not the legacy text completion ones. When you build an application, hard-coding a specific provider creates immediate vendor lock-in. To break this dependency, LangChain introduces a single factory function called initChatModel. Think of it as a universal translator for initializing artificial intelligence clients. Instead of importing a unique class for OpenAI, another for Anthropic, and yet another for Google, you rely exclusively on this one function. Here is the key insight. The initChatModel function uses a simple string syntax to know what to build. You provide a string formatted as the provider name, followed by a colon, followed by the specific model version. Consider an agent currently running on OpenAI's GPT-5. You initialize your model simply by passing the string OpenAI :GPT-5. Now, suppose Anthropic releases a new model that handles code generation better and you want to test it. Because you used the initChatModel function, you do not touch your agent logic. You do not import a new client package. You just change that one initialization string to Anthropic: Claude-Sonnet-4-6. LangChain dynamically resolves the string and loads the correct underlying integration class. That handles the model itself, but providers also disagree on configuration settings. One API might expect a parameter called max_sampled_tokens, while another expects max length. The initChatModel function solves this by accepting standard parameters. When you initialize your model, you can pass arguments like temperature or max tokens directly to the function. If you set your temperature to 0.2 and max tokens to 1000, LangChain maps those generic terms to the exact payload keys required by whatever provider you specified in your string. You configure your model once using the standard terminology, and the framework translates it for the destination API. By separating your application code from vendor-specific implementation details, you gain architectural agility, allowing you to evaluate competing models in seconds rather than days. That's all for this one. Thanks for listening, and keep building.